Okay, so I didn't have that selected. I think that this should work just fine now. Of course, we can also go ahead and adjust some of the other things so that everything works properly without causing any problems for us. Um, I think that this should be more than enough for us in this case. What do you guys think? Like, would that be enough? I think you guys would also think that this is enough. Let's just go with making sure that this is where we are actually increasing it, and that would just ensure that everything is working fine. Okay, that's pretty cool. What I'm dealing with right now is a simple navigation menu that I need to work on for my website, but I I also want to make sure that it is accessible and it is like awesome. We think that there's one chat, but is there actually anyone here? Let me just go to the YouTube studio and see what we have for us. And time. Okay, we go to live, and then right over here we can kind of manage this analytics. Where's the option to manage this? Okay, here it is. I think that this should be more than enough for me. So you need to know now because my loneliness is killing me. Okay, pretty cool and all, but I also need to make sure that okay, that worked, but why isn't this window working? Uh, okay, now we also have this, and let's just also set this up in the correct slot, right? I don't know why the slot isn't working. Let me just restart this as well. And that just allows me to quickly cycle through the different menus that I have open. Very useful if you have a smaller menu thing going on for you. But let's just see what is it that we should use, because to make sure that everything is actually accessible, we'd want to not do everything from scratch. Instead, we'd want to actually uh, with these steps look pretty slick. Okay, something that I really don't understand is I can't get up. I'm listening to really awesome songs. Okay, we have these things. Okay, this UI is also pretty cool, but I don't understand which one should I go with. Should I go with Melt UI, Bits UI, or Shed CN UI? Like which one do you go with? If I look at the components, I can see that I've got everything over here as well. We have tabs too, a date picker as well. So that's the confusing bit, right? This is a real this is a real problem, right? It can be a real problem. How do I fix it? How do I fix it? This looks pretty slick, but Bits UI also has this. So if I go to dialog, no drawer, sorry. Okay, there's drawer there, but there's no drawer here. Now, okay, there's a drawer there and there's a drawer here. Uh, ooh, you know, I think I know the meme, the guy scratching his head. That is how I feel. That's still confusing for me. So maybe I can actually go with this, right? I can just install this. Okay, let's go ahead and install this as a dependency because we'd want to have it. Uh, I'll go with New York style. I'll select zinc as the primary color, and my CSS is an app.css, tailwind.config.ts, that's correct. And I'd want the components in lib components. Okay, configure the import alias for utils. No, I don't want to configure it, and that should initialize it. Okay, this one. Okay, so I guess I'll be confused a bit, but let's just see what we can actually get over here. And I'll have this. And then for this, I'll just also set this up. So I can now cycle between them, which is a good thing. Let me just go ahead and get some things. So of course I'll need buttons. Uh, so I'll just add the buttons over here. And then I can also cycle between these. So I'll just start the development server over here, and I'll go with import. What do we want to import? Uh, we wanna set up the props, right? So we want import children dollar props. And I know this autocomplete seems completely wrong, but there's a reason for it. I am trying out uh, complete.dev, I guess it is called, and it enables you to run AI models locally and then use them to actually provide autocomplete option as well as other options, which is kind of pretty. I think which is cool because you don't have to pay for any additional service. But okay, so the type of it is going to be snippet, and we can just start over with at render children. And I think that as this gets more context from my code base, it will be able to improve itself, right? uh, let's see if this thing works actually. Okay, so we have it, right? And it just works, which is pretty cool. uh, Cannot find module UI buttons or its corresponding type declarations. Maybe I'll have to restart the language server. Like, what is the problem in this case? Because it is installed in libs UI button.svelte. Then why am I getting this warning? Okay, I'll remove that and then go ahead and try to import it again. Okay, now I have options. I've got, I can import it from bits UI. Oh, shit. I installed what? Okay. Okay, now we are importing from the right place. At least that works now. And we can just get into it, right? Let's see what we want to create. Now this is a method that I got from uh, mm, 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 from Matia. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but yeah, he runs the Joy of Code channel. And what he said, like what he suggested, is that I should just go with creating an API first when I'm creating a component to know actually what I want and what kind of options that I want in my component, and to then start creating that component. So on the top, I'd want a nav bar. Inside the nav bar, I want something. And the first thing that I'd want is a snippet, uh, which is going to be nav site logo. And this is going to actually contain the logo of this website, right? Uh, Below this snippet, I'll have uh, the nav menu component, and below that I'll have nav actions component, right? In nav menu, I want, okay, let's leave the nav menu for the last. In here, I'd want nav action item, and it is going to take some things. So it is going to take uh, so these are going to be icons, right? So what do we want this component to take as a props? First of all, we'd want it to have as props uh, link, which is going to be the link, the label for the link, which will be available on screen readers only. And finally, we are going to also have something that is much more exciting. Okay, we'll want to have a size as well. for the link, and we'd also want to pass in the icon. So what should I name it? Link icon, because we will want it to be capitalized as it is going to be there. Right, so we'd want it to be capitalized. Okay, so we have got link icon, and then in here we can have nav menu. Okay, is that what I want to name it? In the nav menu, we are going to have a nav menu link. Ah, okay, well, let's just wait and see. Do we think about it completely? Okay, so I've got the nav menu item, and this will be wrapped in a each block. And then this is going to be somehow tracked as well, because I'll also have to pass the index in here, and along with this it will also have uh, each nav panel array. So this would be like the inner array, and we can see that the autocorrect is actually improving because it is getting more context as we keep on coding, and as our code base grows it will have a lot more context, and behind the scenes continue is going to keep indexing our code base so that it can then provide it as context to our to our what do we call it, to the LLM, the large language model. And that is pretty cool. Like, I think that is pretty cool. uh, but next, like, so nav panel array, and then we can have our own design in here. And this is going to need index, and and inside it we can have whatever we want, right? And when the user, let's say, clicks on new menu item, nav menu item, it'll actually show the corresponding nav menu panel, and they are going to be connected with the index itself. And all of that logic, the context will be managed by nav menu, and context is basically let's say there's a top level component nav menu. Okay, so a good analogy would be a good analogy would be well, let's go to TL draw, and what the hell have I drawn here? We need to think also about analogies because that's kind of my job to think about. uh, mm, mm, mm. Well, let's say it is a company. So what we are going to have is, let's say, okay, I get it now. So we are in a company, and uh, there's one department, there's another department, and they don't actually talk to each other, right? They don't know what the organizational goals are. So the organization on top actually manages the context, and uh, and these items then use context, right? So let's say the organization sets the goal that they want something like 10% profit, and then these each departments gets that information, uh, and if these departments say, okay, this is not possible, so we are changing the context, and that information goes back to the organization, and so it is easier to manage all of the uh, information right here. That is basically what the context API does, more or less. I think, in my opinion, that is what it does. So if that is what it does, we can then proceed with our whatever the hell this is, and we have an accordion. Okay, so this is pretty cool, and we have set up the context completely, like what all things would we want and how would we want it to go. Right, let's go ahead and just comment this out, and in VS Code you can do that with Shift Alt and A. That triggers the multi-line comment. Let's go to our components folder, and in here I'm going to create a new nav folder, and this is going to have nav index.ts first of all, and then we are going to have a nav menu navbar.svelte component. We are going to have nav what it is that we had, nav menu.svelte component. We are then going to have nav actions.svelte component, and finally we are going to have nav items nav action item dot svelte component, and we have some of the components now with us, and that gives us the ability to just start exporting these. And the way you do this is export default as NavBar from navbar.svelte, and that is exported. Let's just also look at this one. So I have actually exported set this up earlier, but I'll just save this like this, and we'll go to something like this. Okay, let's just duplicate it several times. I guess I forgot. Hello Jazza, let's jazz it up. That was weird. That was really weird. Apologies for the frivolities. So shift Windows, shift control, no, shift alt down. Yeah, that duplicates it. And now we are going to go with navbar. We are done with navbar. We want to export nav menu, of course. We want to export nav actions. Then we want to export nav which girl, which one, which girl are you talking about? Is there a girl here? Why am I speaking like there's a ghost here? Nav action items, and then finally this goes away. Though what has been up with you, Jazza? How have you been? How's your gaming setup going? Okay, we have an F bar. Uh, oh no, I said that was weird. I was referring to myself. I guess we are all weird. Oh, that's kind of cool. What got you into coding? Like, uh, I think you are a lot more into it and a lot more proficient in it than I am. Default as nav actions. See how bad that autocomplete is? That's what you get for free. It just is. Yeah, I guess like malwares can be really bad. I got a ransomware once, and they were so kind. The people who make ransomwares, they actually send you their contact info so that you can get them to remove the ransomware, of course, for a very high price. Fortunately, I had nothing on my system that was valuable, which is kind of sad. but also good thing. Finally. Yeah, it's just weird. Like, I how do you even process that? And at that time, I didn't even know what ransomware is. So it was like, what has happened to all of my files? How did you like uh, learn about it? Did you already know about ransomware and all? Oh, the Scratch website. Scratch, scratch, scratch. Hmm. Scratch. Is it this one? Scratch.org. Hmm. That is pretty impressive. Flex.no wrap will make sure that it doesn't wrap into a column even if it does not have enough space, which is good. We don't want it to wrap right now. And um, mm, 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 and we want to have it justify between so that it takes the two elements, places them at complete opposite ends, and a gap of course 8 would be good. And let's just wrap that right here. Whoa, that works. And nav actions, we can kind of go ahead and look at all of the things that we wanted in our so we want link label, link icon, and size. uh, Nav actions. Okay, I think that this is going to be just uh, okay. mm, mm, mm. Now I'm confused, but confusion shouldn't stop us. So we'll just go ahead and type let children, and it is getting better. This AI thing is getting better at recognizing what we want, but it still has a very long way to go. and within the nav action item. Now this is where we want our mm, what can I do to improve my live streams? Like I really want a million kind of a million billion a million billion users. I'd want that. Yeah, I'd want a million billion users to watch my streams. But that is a long term goal. Okay, let's just name it props and not overthink it because we don't want to be caught up in analysis paralysis. That is what they call it. Analysis, when you analyze too much and you just don't do anything. But the sad thing is that I also need something to drink right now. So I already had coffee. I'll do notepad and uh, I can go plus tea break. Yeah, I'll be back. Okay, so you wouldn't believe what I just realized. They had been doing viruses, malware, everything almost for free for so many years. Like that requires real skill, knowledge, and everything like of software, of how to hack into things, how to break into things, how to encrypt things. And then someone said, why are we doing it for free? Like it shouldn't have been done for free from forever. There shouldn't have been malware. There should have only been ransomware. Like like at least make profit off of your hard work. So no, not title. Do I not have that installed? Okay, I'll come back to this. I just hate restarting language server. Mm, mm, mm. It is either going to be a string or a number, or it can also be undefined because I'll set up default value for at least this one. Right, let, and we want to go with link label, link icon, and size. And the default size, what we'll do is set it to 24. uh, that seems pretty cool, pretty much what I want. And then we would go to props, and I get this. So I don't know why this works. Link icon, type of icon, when I set it like that, it just works. But icon is also a type, but when I hover over it, it shows that it is a class. What is it? Is it a type? Is it a class? I think it's just whatever it wants to be. But we have overall typed everything now. And what we'll do is we'll have a button which we get from, like, why am I getting absolute paths? Do I have to actually change the path in here? I can do that. I can take this out of components and into library, and that should pretty much do it. I'll again restart the language server, make sure things are working. And another pretty cool thing is that I also have auto completion. Sorry, not auto completion, but there's things set up like local chat, and this is all through continue.dev, and I can actually provide it context as well. Let's see if it is any good. Hmm. It's completely incorrect, but yeah, that was that was just dumb. And we can't see actually right now what is happening. So let's just go with NavBar, and in here we are going to say snippet site logo, and Okay, so now the autocomplete has started working, and what we want is an icon of, let's say, Instagram. We want the Instagram icon, and we want the size to be 25, and we'll close that off. And I think it has been deprecated, but we can look at it later. And then we also want nav actions and nav action item, and this is going to be link. Okay, I want, give me, let's see if it can actually do this. Let's see if we get something from here. Let's see if it can actually work. No, not what I want. Okay, so it is giving me something, and I'll go with products, and I can, okay, sorry, not, okay, I'll go with link bound, I'll go with label book a consultation, and what we want is a calendar, right? I'll go ahead and do this, but this time I don't want contact, I want uh, inquire via email. Okay, so in that case the autocomplete actually worked, and instead of calendar we want mail icon, which sounds like the icon for the gender male, but uh, why not female icon? Cancel him. And there goes my promising career. Okay, again we are going to go with inquire via call, and we want phone call icon. Now we have set everything up, and right here what I'm going to do is have an each block. Okay, I think I actually did something wrong. Okay, that works. I don't mind. At least one of these things I'll have to provide as like this, right? And finally we are going to close this each block, and we should kind of get something. Haven't we actually imported any of these things? No, we haven't even imported these things. Okay, we are going to import this from here, then we are going to import this right here, and that should work. It says that, okay, site logo, I think logo makes a lot more sense. And what we have here is what you see. We have our icon, and we'll also make this a link, a tag, and this will also not go anywhere. And what we want is our icon to be inside it. Pretty cool, right? And the weird thing is that I went for a tea break. I went for a tea break. I went for a tea break. I went for a tea break, but I got coffee instead. How insane is that? How cool is that, folks? You can do whatever. Now you can do whatever you want. You can do whatever. Oh man, if only I had 30,000 subscribers. Hmm, what would I do? I'd sell merch, or I'd start my own SaaS business, and then I'd have people subscribe to it. That wouldn't work either. I need a business idea. The business ideas that I get, I don't think are really promising. Like, pretty dumb ideas and pretty juvenile ideas. Uh, okay, I actually haven't actually set what am I saying? I haven't set anything up, so I'll need a button, and I can get that from somewhere. Which one should I import it from? Like, I don't even understand that. Should it be imported from index.js or from somewhere else? I think that is confusing. But anyhow, we're going to have a button, and it can be, let's say, okay, we don't get more information about it, but let's just see the information that we actually have. So we can have class name, we can have variants, and variant can be link, destructive, outline, secondary, or ghost, or it can also be undefined. Size can be a lot of things. Builders, okay. All right, I guess I'll go with size, icon, and 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 type. Now variant. Okay, we have a variant class, and we can go with link, outline, secondary, destructive. I'll try out destructive as well. And then I also want link icon, and I'll pass in the size like this. Right. And why am I getting an error? Hmm. Okay, I haven't actually assigned the props. That is wild of me. It is so clumsy, so damn clumsy of me. And we get at least 2 icons now. And that is a big problem because we have actually 3 icons. Why do we get an error here? What is that type? Okay, I think that we don't actually have. Okay, we have imported calendar from the wrong library. So a lot of libraries actually can mess things up, but this actually fixes that. So we have this thing going for us, and we'd want flex.flex-row.flex-no wrap because we want it to be in a straight line. We want a gap of um, 2 or maybe 1 or 2 would be good, and dot justify between so that everything is separated out properly, and we'll put it here. And now we have something that can get in between these two things, right? And we can set the default size to actually 20, that, or 18 would also work, I guess. uh, Justify between items would go with center so that they are center aligned on the x-axis, like horizontally, so that they all look even. And we'll also set class on hover we wanted to animate, and we wanted to pulse. That should work. And we have a pretty accessible button made using this thing, our favorite library, Shadsy and Svelte, by none other than Mr. Hunterbyte. Okay, that sort of does the trick. Uh, what else would I want? Okay, I haven't actually set up the link and label, so I also want to display the label. And do I actually put the a tag inside? I'll have to read the documentation on this and see what we can get. We can go to button, and in button we have the options. So variant outline, but you can convert the button to an uh, anchor element by simply passing an href as a prop. That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. I just have to pass an href and that should work. I mean, that's just wild. So I'll just pass the href, and I'll have span.sr only. That is, only screen readers would have access to it. And I'll pass in the label. And we have actually passed all of our props. All of them have been used pretty well. And this works, right? It's just pretty cool to see I can actually build stuff that is accessible. And yeah. Okay, so right now the variant is length. Let's go with coast and see if it actually gives us some styles. Yes, it does. It does. What other options do I have? Okay, we wanted to test out destructive because that is going to destroy everything. And we can do, okay, so it is not going to actually destroy anything. That was dumb of me to think. We have got outline, length, coast, And we also have secondary. And what does that do? Not a lot. Um, Outline. Let's try outline. And that is kind of cool too. But I'm going to go with coast. And rounded, we can have full because that just makes more sense to me personally. For at least icon buttons, and they'll go to their respective lengths. Okay, that works for now. Nav actions we have configured. Next, what do we want? We want some items right here. And that is going to be the nav menu. Okay, control L, I guess. And right here, I can say, okay, what do I want it to do? I want it to okay, that was a simple task, and it's good that I don't have to actually subscribe to any service to kind of get these simple things done. Okay, here we go again. We are going to set this up now. And we are going to copy this. Uh, we are going to yoink it from here. Okay, why is it giving me something like this? That should work. And we are going to say each. Of course, we are also going to need a UL. I guess that also works. I've got nav menu. And that looks weird. And within this, what I want is a chevron. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it would be a chevron. Let's go and create a chevron. And this chevron is going to be right here. Chev fucking ron. Whoa, that's not extra small. Okay, that works for us. That pretty much works. Hmm. Okay, let's see what other components we may have. Okay. Right now it is taking us somewhere, but we don't actually want that. So in that case, we are going to add an event listener to it. And in Svelte 5, you can just use the on click like simply. And since everything is pretty much a function, you can just pass things around. And that is also true for the on click function. We are going to have an e which is going to be of type event, and the first thing that we are going to do is e.prevent default, which is going to prevent the browser from opening this link, right? We don't want to navigate, we just actually want to view the menu that actually comes into view. What am I saying? And then we are going to have a state, at least to manage. Let's just say let active menu index is equal to $state number or null, and we'll initialize it with a null. And when we click on a particular this thing, we want it to be equal to the index, right? But if we click on it again, then we want to set it at null. Or maybe let's just go with something even simpler. Let is menu open equals state and false, and then let's say is menu open is equal to is not menu open, and in this case we are going to say okay, I think we do have CLSX, right? So I mean we can actually import CN, and that comes from utils, and this allows us to actually pass in some things, which is pretty interesting and pretty easy to work with, right? So this will allow us to go ahead and see if menu is open, we want to rotate it 180 degrees, else we want to set the rotation to 0. Okay, we cannot actually use it with this. We will have to go back to class. And the rotation is working, but as we can see, we can have multiple ones open at the same time. We don't want that actually. We want only a single one open. Right. So we can track that with active menu index. And we can say that if active menu index is currently not null, then and active menu index is equal to the current index of the item that we have clicked on, then what we want is to set it to null. Otherwise we want to set it to index of the item. And there's a typo. which should now fix it. So, okay, there's going to be heavy rain in this area. I can already hear the thunder clouds. Those thunder clouds. I think that is a pretty lit song. Thunder cloud. Pretty good song. I mean, if you want to listen to some really good music, you can try out this playlist. Okay, that isn't going to work because now this is not going to be set in the first place, right? And that is a huge problem for us. So we can just say if active menu index is not is actually null, then we want to set the active menu index to index, else we'll just go with so now we know that it is not null. Now if the active menu index is actually triple equal to, that is equal to index, that is we have again clicked on the same menu, we'll set it to null. And what we are going to do is, instead of is menu open, we are going to see if active menu index is not equal to, okay, is equal to the index, that is we are now tracking the current item. Okay, now only one of them is going to be open at a time. Give me a star, hit me baby one more time. It's 2024 and I'm listening to Backstreet Boys. And things get more anachronistic. 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 Okay, so this works and we are saying if it is not null. Well, now we have made sure that only one of them is open. And so instead of keeping track of everything like this, I'm being up too hard. Okay, this works. This is pretty lit. I mean, you have to see this is pretty lit. This is a flag of rockets. Like if I just take an image from here and we have a flag. Like that's a legit flag. This is the flag of the revolution. Let the revolution begin. Follow me, guys. We are going to well, wave your flag, wave your flag. What the hell? uh hmm. You can join the revolution. Okay, now we want to use this. If active menu index is not equal to null, that is at least one of the menus is open. At least one of them is open, and we'll get that. And right in here, and now we'll only see mm-mm. We can actually also set up a array kind of, so we can have const r equals, we can have a rocket. So this is just going to distinguish. You can have bananas, we can have, okay, that is a lot of things. We just want some of these things. What happened? Where did we go wrong? Sometimes we do have to think, where did we actually go wrong? Okay, we actually need the index from the upper array, right? And that actually makes sense. Okay, now that is also working. We can see that everything also disappears. Now, to get some kind of animation for ourselves, we can actually have this pretty cool thing in Svelte. And what we can do is we can use one of the built-in transitions in Svelte. So we'll use slide and we can import that easily. And that would give us some slide animations. But not for the inner one. For the inner one, we want just fade, right? We also have an outer dev, which can use a transition of slide actually. And so the first time even we are going to get this good slide animation, and all the times afterwards we are going to get something like this. But you can actually see the issue that we are having now. There is a rendering issue that we need to actually fix. I mean, this flash is something that is a problem. Damn. Okay, so that works for us. Now we have got four menus which just work, right? But we also have something in Shadsians, right? And that is called a drawer. Now we can use it to have something along this line. And I'll have to, of course, install it. Let's just add the drawer. And that actually helps us. Let us get rid of this. and to actually have the drawer work like we wanted to. That is a pretty cool component. Mm, 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 mm. This is fun. Well, I guess this is only for React. Hunter alone creating so many libraries and components is kind of awesome. How does he do it? No one knows. I still don't get the difference between the default style. The default style has more padding. Yeah. And maybe there's some shadow also here. Anyhow. Well, what if I wanted to slide from above? Is that an option? Because that is what my use case is about. I wanted to slide from above and not from below. And what this is that I can also combine it with a dialog. So I think that right inside the, okay, where is the drawer then? Okay, so we are getting two different things. We are getting a drawer or a dialog. And that'll all depend on what we are on. It's okay. I want it to be animated from up. This is exactly what I want. Our quest, our hunt for the component that is required is complete. I have this really bad habit of actually clearing the console. Like, why does that even make any sense? Have I not set this up properly? I'd like to see if I've set it up properly or not. Let's just look at the. I think that uh, there's something which is different about it, but anyhow. Mm, 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 mm. Okay, this sheet is exactly what I want. It will open from the top to the bottom. Shit, dude. Sheet. Where are its props? How do I get to know its props? Um, okay, but again, the problem will be that it comes up from the entire. It doesn't just come up from this area, but anyhow. Can we have a class on it? No. Maybe this isn't going to work for us. Maybe we'll have to stick with our custom made component. Because this thing ain't working. It is always going to be from the top. And now we are not getting anything whatsoever. Okay, maybe I should actually go into this and see what we have. Okay, so we can give this thing at least a class. That just pushes this down. Not the whole thing, but just this portion. No, it just overtakes everything. So we are gonna have to stick with our normal component. So it already has a z-axis of 50. I'll go with the index of 999. That should help us out. Yes, we have done it. We have actually done it. If we click on this, it just shows up. And then we click right here, it goes away. Which is of course a good thing in my opinion. What else can we have? Okay, so it is fixed. And instead of having this here, mm, 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 yeah, we kind of need it here. Hmm. Mm. Mm. Mm, 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 mm. But what happens if we want something responsive? Okay, so I am guessing that this is a okay dialogue instead. Okay, so I can easily also override the default styles, which kind of gives me more leeway, I guess, to work on this. So even if I do inset 0, I think there's a relative thing going on over here, which is causing the whole problem. Hmm. Is the margin causing the problem? Is the Mm, this thing does not take any class at all. Padding 0 won't make any sense because it'll just reduce the padding for these items. Okay, it is giving it some default styles, and if I put left to 0, it just works for me. But how do I actually override this? Should I just go ahead and override it directly in the component? I mean, that is what they said. The philosophy of shadcn is that you just copy paste and make the changes according to what you prefer. At least that is what the whole argument is. Okay, so let me just go with left of 0. Nope. What about I just won't let this happen. What if I go with minus left of 10? And it won't let that happen as well. Can I wrap this in a particular component or something? What if I instead go with this? Hmm. This won't work. I can try anything I want to. This won't work the way I want it. It just won't work the way I want it to. What do I do? Do I just run away from this, or do I just keep doing it? Is the question that many people have asked themselves throughout the years, especially Mahatma Gandhi. Now, he too asked himself, what the hell? And I guess I'm tired as hell. So I'll meet you guys tomorrow. We can continue making this, and I'll try to use Shadcn and Svelte as much as possible to create all of the components, because I think that it is a amazing UI library, and if I can pick and choose items and import them, that would be swell. And if that doesn't work, maybe I can go ahead and use Melt UI, which provides all of the primitives to me, and that would also be kind of fun. And I'd see if I can find some documentation on some or some tutorials on that. So peace out.